Hello, team. It's Gavin here from Grown Younger, and we got a special guest today, Janet. So she's got a really cool story that I wanted to share with you, and she's kind of able to jump on and tell us that story. So, welcome to our little podcast, Janet. Really appreciate you popping on. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your sort of journey, because it was a little bit different to most. So, where did you start?
So I started. I've always been an overweight child, adult, etc., etc. In terms of my journey with the gym, obviously came in and saw you early November last year. That was after nearly 9 months after I had bariatric surgery. So I had a gastric bypass. The point that or the decision that I made to have that surgery was after years of trying many failed diets, exercise regimes, all sorts. And it wasn't for want of doing exercise. I used to walk half marathons, those sorts of things. So it wasn't that I didn't do exercise and stuff, but the combination of me, food, exercise just, didn't work. I saw a close friend that had had the surgery. I worked with a couple of people that had had the surgery, and my doctor actually recommended it as well. So for medical reasons as well as weight, I had type 2 diabetes. I had sleep apnea, not diagnosed but assumed, so I went through the process of privately doing it. I didn't do it through the public system. I privately did it. Focused on the weight loss to start with, just in terms of getting used to the food, and then decided it was time to focus on toning, fitness, and supporting that tool, because it is a tool, the surgery is a tool, because I wanted to continue boosting, but also set myself up so that I was getting into some good routine, so that once the honeymoon period that they refer to after the surgery finished, that I'd got some good habits.
Yeah, good. I love it. So, like with the weight loss surgery, what I like about your situations, that you actually considered it. You had a lot of thought around it. You had a lot of, saw people do it. And then you had some advice from your doctor as well. So you didn't jump into it like, oh, I was going to do weight loss surgery, right? You just actually did put some thought into it, didn't you?
At least, I think, at least 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
I did put my name down for the public system to start with, so that was part of it, and obviously COVID impacts on everything, I think. So COVID obviously delayed. The number of people actually on the waiting list for the surgery is so high. And ironically, the day before my surgery, I think it was, I got a phone call from the public system saying that I was just got to the top of the list. Didn't mean that I was definitely going to get the surgery, but it was sort of very ironic in that sense. I did do a lot of investigation, and could see the results from other people. I've got people that I know that it hasn't worked for long term, so I know that it's not a guarantee.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So how long post surgery are you right now for the guys listening?
So I had surgery 27th of March 2023. So 15 months.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And I've lost just over 51 kilos from the day I started what they call pre-op. So before you have the surgery for 3 weeks, you go on a pretty much a really low calorie diet. So the weight on my scale. I think I was a bit higher, and I'd lost
Sure. 51 kilos is huge. Like it's such a huge amount of weight. So I think like with your stuff as well. I mean, you the way you was going, diabetes, sleep apnea. You had the surgery basically to really sort of, I guess it would save your life eventually, wouldn't it? Because you weren't able to do it any other way. That's just cool.
And I had both my parents I lost at young ages, so
right.
65 and dad was 66. So I've got a family history of cancer gene as well. So there was a whole lot of things that meant that I wanted to invest in longevity.
No, I love that. It's great because you got a way different mindset now as well. Because like when we had a chat a couple of days ago, you very much focus on that long-term goal. It was never going to be a short fix for you. It was always going to be a long-term thing, wasn't it? Cool.
Yeah.
So like what I'm interested to share with everybody is that when you obviously came into our growing younger world, like what was the motivation to get you in to seek out a service for like a trainer and a coach, and what was it for you that you thought I need some help with this now? Because you've had the surgery, now what were you looking for after that?
There was a couple of things that prompted me to do it. One, TikTok and social media, where I was following other bariatric patients that were working either with gyms or working on fitness on their own. And whilst I had another challenge, which was to walk the tiara or a trail, so doing lots of walking, I knew to do the toning and stuff, I needed to focus on the weight as well. So when you lose weight that quickly through the surgery, you do obviously lose a lot of, you're losing muscle as well. So I then wanted to look at working more in the gym to build that muscle and toning up as well. Why did I pick yourself? I had a work colleague that obviously used to do the Zumba classes, and I had two other friends that were doing the squad classes. And yeah, just through that connection, got the link to your website, and then thought it sounded like something. I didn't want to go into the mainstream, take a pose gym, and aiming at the older generation, so to speak. What did it for me?
Yeah, no, that's cool. And that's right. And we do have that little community. It's a bit different to Jets and Anytime Fitness because everyone's kind of on a similar journey, the same age, similar interests and things. So I think community is like what we try to build here is a big thing because if you are with other people like yourself, you're more likely to stick around as well because you don't feel like an outsider, which is obviously part of the whole thing, isn't it? So what was interesting was because you lost all the weight and you were obviously trying to tone up and everything. Like, what were your initial expectations and your goals when you started? Because you've been here quite a while now. So what was it when you first started?
So I had three goals. One was to improve my fitness to help support my walking that I was doing. The second one was obviously to tone up, and then the third one was to continue losing weight. So I knew that I've still got, I would like to lose probably another, 5 to 7 kilos. And so those were the three sort of goals, the high level goals. In terms of once I started coming, I didn't find it easy to start with. To be honest, and say I didn't like it to start with. And so then it became about, okay, I have to actually turn up. I've paid my money. And I think, I have to say Ethan is my personal trainer. His style definitely suited me. And that sort of helped me, having that accountability and having that session every 2 weeks. Whereas in a normal situation, not having that to start with to build the habit was definitely.
Sure. So, and that's the thing, like, it's the accountability that you need to be somewhere with a person who's checking in on you, right? Goes a long way, I think, for a lot of people. Because I know, like, lots of people have come to us from local gyms and they go, oh, they give me a plan when I start and they don't see me for 6 months and then I'm never going back. So I think, yes, because it's good you said that because obviously that's kind of by design as well, a little bit. So since you've been with us, like, how have you tracked along the goals that you wanted? So the losing weight, toning up, the fitness. Where are you sitting with all those goals at the moment?
I know that the toning up for longer, like that, I think it might have been yesterday. It was either you or Ethan that said fairly early on that that's not going to happen within the short term. That's sort of a 12 to 2 year thing in my mind. So there is a lot of loose skins when you lose that weight, basically. So I'm really still just at the start of that. I think my fitness is definitely hugely improved. So anyone that I walk with now, they do have to tell me to slow down.
Yeah, good.
And look, again, I'm still, I'm not. My husband will walk faster than me, so I know that I'm not. Still got improvement. Walking with a full pack and doing a 3 to 4 day trek. I definitely that's one of my challenges that I've got to do.
Yeah. so cool. That's good. And then you obviously lost a bit of weight with us as well, isn't it? How much weight you lost? Do you remember?
I think since I started, it was about 13 or 14 kilos.
Yeah.
I started.
Yeah.
I dropped really quickly. Like I know I dropped like 4 or 5 within a really short period of time, which surprised me because I hadn't been sort of, and now it's sort of, between 1.5 kilos to 2 kilos a month, I think.
Yeah.
Come back down to, which is about what I should be in this future.
No, that's fantastic. It's a nice, slow, steady pace as well, so it's not too fast. It's just steady, and you're building some muscle and some fitness, so it's all really working nicely together, which is fantastic. Yeah. So I'm guessing, like, with what would be like the biggest changes you've seen in yourself in the last few months you've been with us? What would it be? Whether it be physical or mental, where are you sitting in that respect?
Well, in the last 8 weeks, it's been competitiveness because of the 8-week challenge. That probably came at a good time for me because I think I'd sort of got into a bit of a routine. So, I have definitely increased the number of workouts, whether it's at the gym and walking, just because of that leaderboard. But I also have enjoyed it's been, I'm quite a shy person naturally, and so the challenge has also helped me to start up conversations at the gym and stuff like that. So that is a dual impact. The routine now really is, at this time of year, I like to go home after work and have a walk, have my dinner, and then I come in, try and get in Monday to Thursday, and sometimes on a Friday, and then my weekends are my actual tramping and hiking.
No, so good. So the other thing I'm like really wanting to touch on, because like this is stuff that people don't talk about, and if you could bottle it, you'd be a millionaire, right? So you went through all, overweight child and adult and all those things, and I can kind of sympathize with that because I was the same, right? I was 30 when I lost all my weight and kept it off in a slightly different way. But what was it? What was the moment for you? You decided you no longer want to be like that again, and what was the main driving factor? Because like essentially you've been given this amazing sort of, I guess, gift. You paid for it, of course, but you've lost all that weight now. It was done, and now you've got to take the bull by the horns yourself. Now you've got to be proactive to keep it off, right, and get fitter. So what was the moment for you? You decided you're never going to go back, or what made you do it in the first place? The surgery first, and then the gym. What was it?
I think the deciding factor at the beginning to push forward with the surgery, because that was it's a pretty severe thing to do.
Yeah.
It was the fact that I could tell I just put on so much weight. Like I got, I was always bigger, but I put on from COVID onwards. I put on I think about 25 kilos over that COVID 2 or 3 year period. And I just got to a point where the photos I was seeing, I no longer was okay. Like I was always okay being a bigger person. I always dressed as smartly as I could, and all that sort of stuff. So that was the trigger, I think, to finally push ahead with the surgery. That combined with my diabetes, because the diabetes, the sugar levels were just they weren't getting under control at all. I would have had to have moved on to insulin, and I didn't want to do that. So the combination of the diabetes and the physical, what I was seeing, and the fitness level when I was doing the walk with my husband, I just I couldn't do it. So that was the trigger. In terms of now that because it was a really hard, that first 12 months was really hard after the surgery. You've got to, you can't guarantee that what you eat today, you'll be able to eat tomorrow. You'll there's all sorts of side effects that you just don't appreciate when you do the surgery. So it was really hard. Mm-hmm. I'm now getting to the point where the food side is much easier, but also I'm noticing that fitness with doing the gym and that sort of stuff. Like I don't want to lose it. I don't want to go backwards. And I don't want to waste my money. The surgery, for those that don't know, it's 24, 25 grand. So it's a big amount of money to fork out, and I don't want to have wasted that sort of
Yeah, that's massive. So that's interesting as well because there's obviously a material aspect there as well. So I'm guessing for the future, then you're like obviously you don't want to ever go back to that, right? You obviously look you have very much changed your whole outlook on things, isn't it? That's kind of what I see from you.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to be I'm not going to deny that I don't eat things that I shouldn't eat. But that's why at the moment I'm keeping my exercise up because it's,
Yeah.
in terms of the um, when you have the surgery, they try to not get you to focus on calories.
Right.
But that is the reality: is that
Yeah.
calories out, calories in. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight, but you can't eat your way out of that. You do have to.
No.
You've got to have a balance from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am still have my lollies when I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't. But generally, I obviously focus on the protein.
Yeah.
Try and get a balance. I physically can't eat as much, so my meals are much smaller. But
That's right. Yeah. That's really interesting. I don't know if it was you I was talking to actually. I talked to somebody, but I was talking to somebody the other day about this surgery thing. No, it was because I listened to a podcast, and what they said was some people once they've had this surgery get quite depressed about the whole thing, and the reason they get depressed, even though they should be happy they lost the weight, is because the one thing that brought them comfort, which was eating, now they can't do anymore. So, like, did that happen to you at all? Did you feel that? You feel you didn't have comfort in your food anymore, or what was it?
I got frustrated by not being able to eat. Uh, not the not being able to eat what I wanted, just knowing that if I went out to a cafe, that I could fix something, and even though I only had a small amount of it, that it would be okay. I got frustrated with that.
Yeah.
I have tried to include things that I like the whole way through. So for me, if I go out for dinner, a really nice piece of ice fillet steak is my go-to. I know I can eat it, so I'll spend a bit more money on it. I won't necessarily finish it. Husband likes it too, so that's good. It doesn't get wasted.
Yeah.
But I will try and eat the quality of food to still give me, I suppose, an element of satisfaction.
Yeah.
It is what they say is a risk is what they call transfer addiction. So instead of eating, you transfer that addiction to something else. So some people it's shopping, some people it's I think at the moment with the challenge, maybe my walking is getting a bit excessive. Over the weekend, most days I did 24 Ks, and most days I'm doing between 12 and 15 Ks, which maybe that has become my
Yeah.
But that's probably the big thing.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Like, yeah, never thought about it, but yeah, I mean, it is a big thing for sure. And I think as well, you see transfer addiction in lots of things. People get smoking, go to the gym and stuff. It happens, but I think sometimes there's no harm in it unless it's causing you harm. And if it's not hurting you and you enjoy it, I think it's fine to focus on something else. Because I was the same. Like when I lost all my weight, like I went into the gym. Like I was a little obsessed. My wife goes, "You're just obsessed with the gym." I was like, but I needed that because otherwise I was obsessed with eating and drinking and sitting on the couch. So I think you need that sort of outlet, which I think is more of a healthy one for sure, which is good. Very, very interesting.
And I mean, with the surgery, they recommend not giving alcohol for two reasons. One, for addiction, but also obviously it's wasted calories. So,
Yeah.
gone down that track. I haven't touched it. I've had a couple of sips, but I can't tolerate it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. The whole thing is a massive, interesting subject for sure. So, next thing I want to just ask you, because like a lot of people I come to Growing Younger before, so you kind of think we're like a gym, right? And it's only until you experience it, like you realize we're kind of not. We have a gym, right? So, just for you, if you could you explain like how like the support and the guidance you get from us would be a little bit different to somewhere else? What are your words around that? How would you describe it?
So I suppose it's more like a journey for one of the, I don't know if that's quite the right way to say it or not, but obviously the support, the goal setting, you've got your app with your reminder that pops up every day. Do I set it every day? No.
Yeah.
And for some people that would be a good thing as well. So I suppose the support is there. I know that when I signed up, you ask me the question, do I like to be, how do I want to be communicated to? I get the messages from Ethan, regularly through the week on the app. I know that I can turn that off or, say, please don't message me if I want to. So there's that aspect. The program has been updated regularly, obviously, with Ethan as well. So the boredom factor means that, changing it up. And yeah, I suppose there's variety. I'm not a squads person, so I am in the gym has been my preference, which is interesting because I always said I was not a gym person, and that's what you're saying. It's not a gym, so it doesn't feel like I'm at a gym.
Sure.
So, and having the people that of an older generation, or for want of a better word, I don't feel awkward starting up a conversation. Whereas if it was an actual gym and there was the young, if I went with my daughter, who's 18, to one of where she goes, there's no way I would have a conversation with anyone else because they just
no, makes sense. No, that's cool. It's good to hear like how other people describe it, and like some people just don't, like other people don't understand what's going on. So it's nice for you to say that. And when you mentioned the squads thing, for people that wouldn't know what squads is, that's just more group fitness. It's just exercise a different format. You either work out with a trainer or you work out with a group. That's kind of the difference essentially. And people are, like you said, you're a bit shy. I would be the same. I wouldn't go to a group session. I would rather go to a gym. So that's kind of the same kind of thing, I guess. So
my own time. So the fact that it's obviously if I wanted to go in the middle of the night I could, I don't. But the fact that it is, I can come at whatever time suits me, and I mix that up on the days, and depending on like tonight, I'm literally staying at work doing a board meeting. And I fit it around that. I don't have to come at a specific time.
Yeah, it's good. That's the flexibility, which is I think a big key for a lot of people as well, which is cool. So I've only got one other question really. It's more like I guess what would you say to somebody that is in your situation, let's say, that may have had surgery or looking to have surgery, and then they're a bit, what would you say to them? What would be your advice based on your experience?
I think it has to be the right time for the person. I don't think if I had have come any sooner, I don't think I would have stuck it out. And it's got the same result. So making sure it is at the right time, but it is worth the time to do it. So when you're in the right headspace, I think if I had have just continued doing my walking, which is what the exercise I was doing, I definitely, even the strength that it's built up for my hiking, that I underestimated how the, even just doing squats and stuff like that, my leg strength has helped with the other exercise that I'm doing, as well as helping me maintain the weight loss as well. A lot of people with surgery lose it, so they stop losing after 6 months, whereas I've done it slowly, and I'm continuing to do it because I'm now that next phase of exercise and trying to build the muscle.
No, cool. That's excellent advice. Yeah, I think because you come from a different space to everybody else. I think that's bang on. You got to be ready. And once you're ready, you can do it. It's about making that decision. So if you can make the decision sooner, you'll be ready sooner. And then for sure. Okay, awesome. All right, well look, that's it, Jan. That's fantastic. Thanks. I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, it was really good to pick your brain about your experience and where you came from, where you are right now. So it's really inspiring, and I'm pretty sure other people will feel the same as well. So appreciate that. So anything else from you, or are we done?
No, that pretty much covers it.
Excellent. You're very welcome. All right then, let's turn this off.